Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip Board meeting. Today is May 16th, 2022. We're going to call this meeting order at 7:34 p.m. Clerk, can you call the roll, please? I'm sorry, before we get started, this is a student government night tonight that we're actually videotaping here. This is on a YouTube, and all of the students that you see in front of you, these are all senior students of District 218 schools. And as trustees, I'm going to ask, as we do the roll call, please check in as far as the roll call goes, and then whoever is representing you this evening, please check in as well then too, okay? So what I'll ask students, if you would please, is trustee will say their name, and then you follow with who you are representing with their office tonight yet too, okay? So clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell.
Here.
Trustee Juarez.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give her 1 second. Kira,
sorry.
go ahead.
Kira O'Brien. Trustee Juarez.
Here. Ashley Miller.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Trustee McElhorn.
McLaughlin, I'm here.
McElhorn.
And I don't have anybody, sorry.
Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Rachel Lovett. Trustee Nava Esparza.
Here.
Oh, Sarai Graves. Trustee Peretta.
Here.
Abby Buchanan Kensinger.
And Mayor Ryan.
Here.
Isela Enriquez.
We have a quorum.
Very good. Please join us for a pledge of allegiance.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our regular reports, I just want to give a couple of quick reports from my office. First, I want to thank all the volunteers that helped us this weekend with our village-wide cleanup day. Everyone did an amazing job. Actually, Stony Creek Elementary School brought out like 18 students, and they did a really nice job over around the Jewel food store area on the east side of town. And I tell you, when I showed up with Becky, what do you call those? The garbage clamps or whatever you want to call them, but it's so everybody saves your back. You know, they can just reach over with the tongs and pick up all the garbage, and boy, even the kids got a kick out of that. No more bending over to pick up garbage and stuff then too. So those were great. Becky Smith, my assistant, Becky, wonderful job this weekend, both with organizing the cleanup day as well as the flower sale, and as well as Joan Ross was out there, and Heather Early helped you too. And Roger, thanks for Mike Frater, thanks to your crew as well too. You guys came out Saturday to help us picking up all the garbage. I was on the Cicero Avenue Bridge with a couple of folks, and I don't know how a piece of carpet, 5 foot by 7 foot, lands on the Cicero Bridge, that kind of thing. I dragged that thing down. I had 4 cup caps, you name it. And I thought somebody was goofing around with the caution tape. There was yellow caution tape that ran like the length of that bridge. And that night I was judging a cook-off with the over at Bourbon Street with all the firemen from the different towns. And I said, that must have been, and they go, no, there was actually a truck on fire at the top of the bridge, and they had tape forever. Tommy, you guys must have ran out of tape after that, Chief,
State Fire Marshal was all there.
So, I was picking that stuff up forever, but again, thank you very much to everybody that did that. I'll save some of these reports for next week's committee meeting, but just to let everybody know, Pace Bus is going to be, they're proposing on lowering their fares to stay competitive and stay in business. And it's the fares keep going up, and they're going to be reducing the fares, so I'll have that report at the next committee meeting. And then next week, please keep in mind, the police have a report on what they're doing, as well as Public Works. We want to thank Coca-Cola for providing refreshments for the open house for the Public Works, and as well as the police department as well too. I just want to get all the thanks in there. Coca-Cola is a wonderful partner to have in town, and I always want to make sure we acknowledge their help. I know, Chief, you got a lot of donors for your event yet too. So, but like I say, Coke comes out quite a bit and helps us out, so we thank them. So I'm going to turn over to Mayor Enriquez now then, too. So go ahead, Isa, you're going to start here. You can announce this and just speak to this real quick.
Good evening. Today we'll talk about the approval of the list of the annual mayoral appointments that required consent by the Village Board of Trustees.
So you can say the attorney firm and stuff like that.
Attorney Louis Keener, Lieutenant. Engineer Robinson Engineering. DEP Director Chuck Geraci. Administrative Adjudication Hearing Officer Odelson and Stark. Pardon my pronunciation.
That's right.
Building Consumers Robert Early. Part-time Building Inspector Darrell Rita. Part-time Electrical Engineer Brian Armin. Part-time Plumbing Inspector Jim Smith. Fire Chief Thomas
Stasinski.
Deputy Fire Chief Training and Safety Robert Rieker. Fire Prevention Officer Joe Smith and Tom Leah. Environmental Health Commissioner Keen Panarella. Police Chief Gerald J. Miller. Deputy Police Chief Sean Schultz. Police Lieutenant Kevin Mikos. Police Lieutenant Todd Godowski. Police Lieutenant Valerie Emick. Financial Director Joyce Tucker. And Superintendent of Water and Sewer Dan Triben.
Right. And then down here is just the Planning and Zoning. Those two people.
Planning and Zoning Commission, Bob Warden and John Gallagher.
Right.
Fire and Police Commission, Tom Doyer. And Fire Pension Board, Jim McKenna.
Yes. And that, you can just say that's all I have for the evening.
That's all I have for the evening.
And then what you would do then is you can say we have the clerk's report.
Can we have the clerk's report?
We have the approval of the March 2022 motor fuel allotment in the amount of $64,171 with 93 cents. The approval of May 2nd, 2022 board meeting minutes. The approval of May 2nd, 2022 fiscal year 23 budget appropriation meeting minutes. Approval of the April 2022 FOIA report. The presentation and approval of May 9th, 2022 committee meeting minutes. The update on clerk's office new hires Lauren Sudeski and Jasmine Perez, and the recognition for the clerk's office electrical staff. I also have a letter to read from the clerk's office. We would like to update the mayor and board on our new hires Lauren Sudeski and Jasmine Perez. They are both catching on quickly and are eager to learn. They both have exceptional customer service skills that are being showcased at the clerk's office window. Their positivity and desire to be the best clerks that they can be can easily be recognized. They are extremely happy to have them. We are extremely happy to have them to be part of our Village Alsip team. We would also like to recognize Brittany Darman for all her work and dedication to help make sure everything got done while the office was severely understaffed. She always steps up to help anywhere she can, and her positive attitude is unmatched. She is a huge asset to the clerk's office, and we are grateful for all she does. We are looking forward to continuing the development of our team and providing the best possible service to the residents, business owners, and contractors that come to our village. We would like to offer a huge thank you to Brittany, Lauren, and Jasmine for all that they do. The office could not run without all their hard work and dedication. Sincerely, Renee Harding and Erica O'Donnell. And that's all I have.
Okay.
Attorney Mike Kanger.
Kankar.
No report.
No report. Thank you, Mike.
Engineer.
This is Will Dolan. Will Dolan, our engineer, Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a request to go out to bid for the 2022-23 MFT GM resurfacing and crack sealing programs at the June 6, 2022 Village Board meeting. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry. You can say
Thank you. Public forum.
You can say, does anybody in the audience who wish to address the board?
Does anybody in the audience would like to address the board?
No one tonight.
And we'll have public forum.
Okay, So nobody wanted to speak, so just say we're going to move to standing committee reports.
We're going to move to standing committee reports.
Let's start with finance and IT. Yeah, you can.
We'll start with finance and IT. Trustee McClawhart.
All right, first I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated May 6th, 2022, totaling $424,603.27. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated May 16th, 2022. From the recap, General Fund, $201,454.69. Road and Bridge, $68,526.80. MFT, $3,870.44. Liability and Workers' Comp Insurance, $230,745 even. Health Insurance, $202,550.06. IMRF, $15,732.01. Water and Sewer, $717,868.64. Sanitary Sewers, $2,080.35. Heritage, $48,021.71. Retiree Health Insurance, $104,233.10, for a grand total all funds of $1,595,082.80. Next, I have a request for approval to increase the hours for accounts payable clerk Heather Tomko from 28 hours to 35 hours for approximately 8 weeks starting in mid-June. And next, I'm going to turn it over to Joyce, who would like to discuss the fiscal year 23 budget and the finance mid-May report.
Thank you, Trustee. I don't know if anyone has any updates to the FY23 budget. We are in preliminary right now. Trustee Dalzell, I did get body cams. I talked to Lieutenant Emick, and they're in the process of a grant right now, but we have an initial quote, which we use those numbers to be able to put that into the budget for the body cameras over the next 5 years. So that was added. The motor fuel tax projects have been added for FY23, and that is all the updates I have for the budget at this time. I'm going to... Mayor? Did you want us to read our reports?
I don't think you have to do that. You
Okay.
Just give them a summary, just a brief.
Okay. We just finished closing fiscal year 22. Obviously, we're still backdating expenditures and revenues to 22 as they are earned that way. We have updated a lot of processes now about how we do things with revenues and expenses. In terms of revenues, we record them on a daily basis. We don't wait for a month to record them at the end of a month. Bank balances are monitored on a daily basis. We are now doing ACH payments, of course, via the accounts payable department. You are also starting to see more in your board reports concerning automatic payments that we make, fees that are withdrawn, that kind of thing. That's coming in the board reports. Also being submitted, it's being submitted through the electronic invoicing, but since it's already paid, we're putting it through as the board report as opposed to having trustees approve that. We have the electronic invoice submittal. Electronic receipts are now electronic, are paperless. We used to print them out. When we would get video gaming tax, we would print out the sheet from the state, we would code it, we would hand it to the clerk's office. We don't do that anymore. It's all electronic. We have this neat little system that we use. So anything that is kept online, we electronically deliver that to the clerk's office and they record it for us. The IT department has almost, we've peeled the onion down to the end about putting the new phone system in. They're doing some of the final touch-ups here. So it's just the little one-off things that they're fixing. But otherwise it's been working, I think, as far as I'm concerned, very well. The project to reduce the stored paperwork that we have approximately 300 boxes of paperwork that has not been scanned. And the first 50 boxes went out the door to be scanned in February. That's still ongoing. We're waiting for the summer helpers for the building department to get here to help us get those boxes down out of the top level of the storage garage. And as soon as that's done, then we can start getting some more boxes to them. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Next, we have the fire committee report.
Next, we'll have the fire committee report. Trustee Murphy.
Presentation and approval of March 2022 Fire Prevention Bureau Report. Presentation and approval of the monthly report for March 2022 based on our National Fire Incident Reporting System, also referred to NFIRS data. Approval of agreement with the Illinois Tollway. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
And the police and traffic safety report, Trustee Denzel.
Can we have the police and traffic safety report? Trustee Denzel.
Thank you, Mayor. This Saturday, May 21st, the Police Department will host our Bike with the Cop event at Freedom Park, located at 131st and Cicero. The purpose of this event is to promote bicycle safety in a fun, safe environment while interacting with Alsip police officers in a positive community atmosphere. Check-in and bike inspections start at 9:30. This event is for children up to 15 years of age. That is all I have this evening.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can we have the report for public work and boat launching? Trustee Juarez.
The first thing we have today is the approval of the Public Works Department April 2022 monthly activity report. And secondly, we have the May 15th to 21st will be the National Public Works Week. The Alsip Public Works Department will be hosting an open house on Saturday, May 21st between 12 to 3 p.m. Trucks, tractors, and much more will be on display. All are invited to attend this free event, and that is all that I have.
Thank you. Can we have the report from Sewer and Water? Trustee Nava Esparza.
I have the approval of April 2022 Water Department monthly activity report. I would like to update the mayor and board on a few things happening in the water department. The team did a great job over the winter with 70% increase in water main breaks over the last year. A water main break is never easy, but it's extra difficult in a sub-freezing weather. Thank you to Brian Jurasic, Mike Alberts, Sam Petzel, John Perna for all their hard work and dedication. All of the restoration work around the village from the water main breaks is being wrapped up. The $2.7 million Keller-Kominski water main replacement project is completed with exception of some punch list items. Thank you to Kathy O'Neill and Jody Miletsky in the water department for helping the building department when they were short-staffed. The two departments work hand in hand every day. The office could not run without the hard work and dedication of Kathy, Jody, Melanie, and Amy. That is all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Can we have the report from Building and Health? Trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Our first item for today, we have a request for approval of the April 2022 Health Department Activity Report. Next, I have a request for approval of the April 2022 Building Department Monthly Activity Report. And third, we have an update on the Building Department's new hire, Amy O'Rourke. Amy is catching on quickly and is definitely a team player. She's already developing a great working rapport with some of the repeat contractors and business owners. She's eager to learn and help anywhere she can, and we are very glad to have her be a part of our Village of Alsip team. For item number 4, we would like to recognize Melanie Railing, Kathy O'Connell, and Jody Molesky for all their hard work while the office was understaffed. Our staff is dedicated and works great together to make sure everything gets addressed that needs to be. We are very grateful to have such an amazing staff and are looking forward to continuing to build on the foundations we have established. We are continuously striving to find new ways to make things run more efficiently and are thankful for the staff's input. On behalf of Mayor John D. Ryan, the Board of Trustees, Building Department Superintendent Roger Early, the Water Department Superintendent Dan Tribin, and Office Supervisor Erica O'Donnell, we would like to offer a huge thank you to Melanie, Amy, Kathy, and Jody for all that they do. The office could not run without all their hard work and dedication. Finally, for item number 5, we have a request for approval for the Village Sportsman Club to hold their annual pig roast fundraiser, which will take place on Saturday, June 4th from 3 to 10 p.m. There will be live music to be set up outside in the northwest corner of the property parking lot, weather permitting. The approximate hours of play will be 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. One food trailer will be placed and utilized in the west end of the property parking lot, and 3 exterior tents with the approximate size 12 by 20 will be placed and utilized in the southwest corner and west end of the parking lot. These tents will have no sidewalls, only overhead covering. Each tent will be secured to the parking lot pavement by utilizing fasteners and weights attached to the framing at each corner of the tents. And then to provide a brief explanation or description of the cooperative entity proposing this fundraiser with the Village Sportsman Club, the American Knights Motorcycle Club Illinois is a registered non-for-profit and incorporated organization comprised of active and retired law enforcement officers, military members, and qualified civilians who support the goals of law enforcement. The club promotes brotherhood and the sport of motorcycle riding. The American Knights Motorcycle Club has been honored 3 times by the Chicago City Council for outstanding charity work and is recognized by numerous other charitable organizations such as the Gold Star Families, the Morning Star Missions, Toys for Tots, etc. The American Knights Motorcycle Club has also been acknowledged and honored by countless fraternal law enforcement and military organizations. This concludes the business we had for our items.
Thank you. And can we have the report from Human Resources and Insurance, Trustee Murphy?
Interviews for the vacated HR position are still ongoing. Round 2 of interviews will start this week, and that's all I have.
Thank you. And we'll have the special committee report, Economic Development, Trustee Nava Esparza.
The approval to enter into an agreement between the Village of Alsip and Century 21 affiliated using the Akai Cladis as the real estate broker to market and sell the village-owned vacant land property that approximates 50 by 138 lot at 3725 West 120th Place, Alsip, Illinois, with a market of $60,000 for residential use. The agreement will terminate December 31st, 2022. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Can I have a report of the Village Properties, Trustee McLawhorn?
No report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Can we have the report of Ordinance and Legislation, Trustee Peretta?
Excuse me, Trustee Abigail, can you give us just 1 minute? We're trying to get, we were going to talk about the dedication here for Mary Schmidt, and give us 1 second. We're trying to get her on the our Zoom meeting right now, okay? Give us just pause for a minute, just a short time out, please.
Is this just all I say? Just one?
Hey, Roger, if we're the host, and that says it's waiting for the host, did you need my password on that from my office? Okay. But if you're the host, aren't you signing them in? Oh, you did.
Yeah, you put this one before. I can't.
Yeah. I think we're too old. Should one of these guys do?
I did it
Right, we'll let the students do it.
for the last 2 years. and
Does that
then
number
suddenly
conflict
put
with
his
the
homework
number in my office?
Zoom me and be in charge because I couldn't work it.
Yeah.
So this one for N should
Let me give you that number, Roger. Just take me a second. Oh, you got her? Okay.
Okay, so my dad used to be a fire inspector, and he would like always tell stories, and like Roger was like his best friend, it sounds like. So now I actually know who he's talking about.
and then you're going to say item O, you're going to known as ordinance, and you know those.
The guy with his legs was like Roger.
To approve the consent agenda.
So of course we're gonna have them help for us work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, can you go over that one
Mhm.
please?
So, this person you just mark down what they're going to run. You don't need to worry about it.
Sure.
Are you able to get it on your phone?
Get my bald spot, okay? My forehead looks kind of big. Maybe I should angle like this.
That should be my line. I have enough forehead to make a 5-head.
My sister and I argue about our forehead size, and it got so bad, my dad had to get out like the tape measurer. It was bad. Like we were like fighting about it.
Right number 2 there. But before you take that, so that it's into the record, they call it. After you read those, number 2 for consent agenda.
Yeah, so since this is a board meeting, do you all have a consent agenda?
So when they focus on breaking the son's leg or motion, give it a second. They refer to me.
He used to be a lawyer. And he changed to the
He did good too. We were his first class. Like he handled everything really well.
First, they're going to roll call to establish. So you're going to take that roll call.
It's pretty repetitive, but when it's the first time, you're like,
Oh.
So when you watch this on YouTube, you're going to see like red, white, and blue, and it'll say experiencing technical difficulties. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And after that approval, you're done. You don't take the old work channel unless.
Yeah, right. Pan that way.
That happens, we'll walk you through.
They're playing circus music.
So the you just circle up into the side. I'll need to know that's
so you bring stuff from the committee.
Then you would not say the correct. You would not read that when it comes down to approval. If they don't rule it, then
Right here, much discussion. So then they'll be presented.
so yeah, anything just like when you before we establish, the coach will move first, and then you're going to move off.
That's all we have.
And then just even at the
You start hitting the gavel and saying,
This gets taken off, you're not going to read that in.
In the business world, we don't use this. We use Microsoft Teams.
That's what I use. You do, like, roll call for 3, 2, item.
What I'm saying
I think probably the biggest difference in Zoom, you can do on your phone, you can have conference, and it's all free. Microsoft, of course, charges for all their licenses.
I'm so glad.
I know, it's a lot.
But at the same time, I mean, it's like that, you can attach a Teams meeting into an email.
So it's like a specialty kind of thing, and then everything else
you take a picture for Miss Helena? We do it right now. What was
Yeah.
Everybody's
Interested in state, county, state?
Double meeting.
State competition. I would say the very majority, 95% or more.
We can take a picture right after this.
Yeah.
And send it to her. Miss Helena will be so proud.
It's a good thing.
For 3
I mean,
cents.
they know how to read, they know how to they understand law. Be beneficial.
I used to. Nobody better pull anything. Nobody better pull anything.
I don't think that's how politics work. I don't think politics works like that. I always think
Not forever, but. No, when I lived in Is the meeting not starting, or? We're experts. We heard our classes over them.
It's like getting used to it, you know?
This is Mary Schmidt.
Hey, Mayor, it's John Ryan.
Yeah, I'm waiting to be, the meeting to be started.
I know. Somehow we're having some technical difficulties, so I'm just going to do it audio-wise off my phone here. I'll put you on, you're on speaker right now, okay, Mayor?
All right, thank you.
No problem. Let me turn this up. And, good, we'll hear from Abigail. Go ahead.
So first, we have a request for approval of a resolution of the Village of Alsip dedicating the Village Green infrastructure as the Mary Schmidt Community Sanctuary. Mary Schmidt has promoted the commercial, industrial, and civic interests of the Village of Alsip since 1973 by, among other things, serving as the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce for over 44 years from 1973 to 2017, as well as currently serving as the Zone Assistant for the Calsac Enterprise Zone since 2005. Many thanks are deserving to Mary for having faithfully served the residents of the Village of Alsip with boundless energy, and where her kindness, graciousness, and diligence enriched those who were fortunate enough to know and work with her throughout the years.
Thank you very much, Trustee. Abigail, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce your last name again?
Buchanan Kensinger.
Buchanan Kensinger.
Yep.
Thank you very much. So we have Mary Schmidt on my on the audio. Mary helps us still remotely from California. Mary helped us, as Trustee Buchanan Kensinger just said, for over 44 years, and the village got a $260,000 grant last year from the Morton Arboretum, and they asked that we name that green space. Right now, Mike, how many trees that we're just planting out there? About 300, 200 trees. Okay, and it's a major green space. How many acres, Mike? About 3.5, I think.
A little under 3.
About almost 3 acres of property, and we're going to be doing a volunteer thing out there again pretty soon to spread mulch for paths and so forth. But this is an ideal place, obviously, to learn about not just agriculture but horticulture and whatnot. Then too, we're going to have upcoming plans for more of this property, more things to do out there. We've been talking with some artists about bringing some art to that area as well. Then too. And something to really be proud of in that area, and something for our village to be proud of right on the Calsag River. Mary, thank you for all your years of service to the community, and I think it only fitting that it be named after you. Certainly, we're going to put this to a vote in a couple of minutes, so I didn't hear anybody pull it yet, so we're looking good, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for Morton Arboretum. What a great honor. You know, wherever I am, my heart is always in Alsip, and now my name is here, too.
Exactly. So certainly, when all this comes to fruition with the signage, we'll certainly send you a copy of it for something you can have for your home as well then too, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be in town this summer, so I'll stop in on Monday night and see you guys.
That'd be great. Absolutely, Mayor. Yeah, you got to find your spot in the audience, and we'll see if we make room for you, you know? So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Mary. Hope California treating you well?
Beautiful.
I bet. Okay.
But the weather's getting nice there, so I'm ready to head your back for a while.
Sounds good. All right, well, thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, to all of you.
all right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, trustee. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry. Force you have it.
Thank you, Trustee Peretta. Or is there any point you guys want to?
You still have one more, number two.
We have number
right?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, so we also had a request for approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 3, Fire Prevention by adding Section 9-50, lithium-ion battery storage of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll have the report for Planning and Zoning and License. Trustee Juarez.
We have the approval of a list of licenses dated April 25th, 2022 through May 6th, 2022. That is all.
Thank you. And we'll have presentations, petitions, and communications.
As a reminder, residents of Alsip, along with Alsip Chamber of Commerce and Alsip Industrial Association members, employees, and immediate family members are eligible to apply for this scholarship. The program is open to high school seniors or graduates who are either Alsip residents or employees or children of employees of companies that are members of the Alsip Chamber of Commerce or Alsip Industrial Association. Students must be enrolled full-time at a college, university, or trade school and working towards a degree/certification from an accredited post-secondary school. Applications are available online at www.alsipchamber.org or www.alsipindustrial.com. The deadline for filing applications is June 21st, 2022 by 3 p.m. at 12159 South Pulaski Road. Questions, please call 708-597-2668. That is all I have.
Thank you. And we'll have the removal of item. Oh,
So what you're going to do is you're going to ask, did anyone wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
does anybody would like
Wish to remove?
wish to remove item from the consent agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to remove letter M. M as in Mary.
Yes, did anybody else?
Anybody else?
Okay, so then you're going to say, then can I get a motion to establish the consent agenda?
So can I get a motion to establish consent agenda?
Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, so clerk, you're going to record, who made the motion on that side? There we go. So you're going to circle.
The second.
And the second was
Morris.
Murphy?
Trustee Murphy,
Okay. So the clerk's going
okay.
to call a roll.
With roll call number 1.
Okay, we're going to go ahead with roll call number 1. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries to establish consent agenda.
So, now you're going to ask, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Here, I'm just going to the next page. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So Dalzell and Peretta. And the clerk is tabulating that down there. So before she calls the roll, she's going to give you, she's going to do some numbers. She's going to do some personal stuff first.
Okay, just for it to be known, item M, the approval to enter into Item N, approval of a resolution of the Village of Alsip dedicating the village green infrastructure as a Mary Schmidt Community Sanctuary will be known as Resolution 2022-5-R-2. Item O, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 9, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 3, Fire Prevention by adding Section 9-50 lithium-ion battery storage of the municipal code of the Village of Alsip will be known as Ordinance 2022-05-3. Okay. Go ahead with the roll call. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Now you're saying we're going to return to an item that was removed, letter M.
We're going to return to an item that was removed, letter M. The approval enter into agreement between the Village of Alsip and Century 21 affiliated using Key Gladys as a real estate broker to market and sell the village-owned vacant land property approximately 50 by 138 lot at 3725 West 120th Place in Alsip, Illinois, which is a market price of $60,000 for resident use. This agreement will terminate December 31st, 2022. Trustee McLaughlin, do you have?
Before we take questions, I'd say, ask if we have a motion in a second.
As we'll waive a motion in a second.
Before we discuss the mayor, do we have a motion in a second to approve letter M?
Second.
We need a motion.
We need a motion first.
Oh, my bad, guys.
That's okay. You can say, I'd like to make the motion. Okay, go ahead. You can say it if you wish.
Say, I'll make the
I'll
motion.
make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
No? Okay. Well, this will die then for lack of a second. If we don't have a second to approve this this agreement to sell that lot of property through Century 21.
Mayor, we have discussion on it so we can find out what the issue is with.
Yeah, we got to find out.
We could, but I don't. We're not going to have discussion unless we have a second, and I don't have a second to do.
I'd love to sit there and make a motion or a second, but I was trying to find out what the trustees' point was.
Excuse me, my point on it was I wanted to confer with the attorney about possibly adding an exclusion to the contract because we had that resident that approached us about buying the property before entering into this agreement, and can we have it written into the agreement that if we do negotiate with that particular resident, that the commission would not be payable?
Yeah, you can do that, to be exclude previous offers.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that.
Certainly, because we had a resident make an offer that was well below what the market value was, and I had asked the board last week, do we want to negotiate that, or did we want to have a realtor market the property? And I contacted obviously a broker to market the property. And that's what's at the question here. But as the trustee said, in a case where if we were to accept an offer made by a resident adjacent to nearby that property, there would be no need to pay commissions and so forth because there was already an offer made, on that property that you didn't need a broker for.
So
So
to clarify then, so you're saying you want the previous offer, so client A that made the offer prior to entering into a broker agreement to be excluded to exclude the realtor from getting commission if the village moves forward with that offer.
that's what the trustee is asking, right?
I just wanted to clarify the language.
Yeah.
So client A to be excluded if the village moves forward with accepting that offer from client A.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that exact
No,
offer. I
no.
mean, we were
It could
already
be
in
any offer.
negotiations with that, the resident made an offer before entering into this contract. If we continue to negotiate with that particular person, they would, whatever price was finally settled on would be excluded from the real estate contract.
With that person.
With that person.
Right.
The client.
So even if that person raised their offer, say $10,000 or whatever, we would still get the commission waived because that's basically our customer. That's usually how that goes in real estate.
But are we under
My
negotiation?
understanding.
Are we under negotiation with that offer now?
I didn't hear her. What did she say?
Are we under a negotiation with that current
No.
offer now?
And that's where my question comes in, is when you hire a realtor to market that property, obviously they're going to take all offers, but that person made an offer already, so if that person came up in cost, you would still have the realtor doing all the work to do the negotiating at this point too. We are not realtors, so we wouldn't be doing that negotiating.
But I'm saying that in the case of that particular person, the realtor's not bringing them to us.
But the realtor would have to facilitate the offer back and forth before we would actually agree on that offer.
They don't have to. I mean, we already started without the realtor, so we don't need to hand it over to the realtor.
But we had this property for sale by owner for over 6 months, and nobody came forth to make an offer. I bumped into the person you're speaking of when I was out there. The person made a verbal offer, and I told the board about the offer being substantially less than what the market value was on the property. But now if you have a realtor that's going to go to work and do the work on this, I don't see how it would be fair not to include them into a commission for doing that work. On a $60,000 parcel, it's not like it's a lot of monies or anything either, but we would be obligated to pay somebody for their service to handle that.
Well, the role of the realtor is to market the property, right? And if you're entering into an exclusive listing agreement, they should be entitled to that commission if they're bringing a willing and ready buyer. And they present all offers to the client, which is the village, and it's up to the village if they decide to move forward with that offer. But to say that, I guess if the other offer is not under negotiation or they're not going to enter into another offer situation with us, if we want to put that clause there for that one client, but I think just from what I'm understanding is that if, let's say, another resident that lives nearby, resident B, lives next door to that parcel, and we are under the listing agreement with the broker, and the broker shouldn't be entitled to the commission? Is that what you're saying?
No, all I'm saying is the specific resident who has already reached out, and whether it's a verbal or offer in writing, that particular person only, because they have already reached out and have already started discussions.
So I would ask the attorney if that's. I'm guessing that's okay, or?
Yeah, it's not uncommon that if you have somebody because the idea of the broker is to procure interest and generate offers on the property. If someone has made you an offer before you list the property, he didn't bring them to you, so you could exclude him. That's not uncommon to do that.
Okay, so if he does get into a negotiating situation, Mike, does that nullify the original offer that the person made?
He didn't make an offer. I mean, he saw you in the street and he said, "This is what I want to do for it." I mean,
Okay.
that's not an offer. You have to make offers in writing.
Okay.
So, but if you want to exclude the person, you can do that. You can do whatever you want to do.
That's fine. That's what we talked about earlier tonight too, Trustee. And I didn't have a problem with that because that person did show interest in it before we even got the realtor involved.
Right.
So on its face, that would be, if the board were to approve this action, I will inform the realtor of that exemption. And one person only that made a verbal, but not in writing. It's not an exclusive offer yet, but they did make a verbal.
They did make a verbal, and I'm not sure exactly at what point in time you told them, no, the price wasn't right, but that doesn't preclude them from coming back to us and saying, okay, I'll give you.
Well, no,
one
I came to the board and said we had an offer that was
Right.
less, and did we want to get a realtor involved? And the board said yes, and that's where we're at this point here.
And how long has this property been for sale?
Over a year.
And have we had a realtor work on it before?
No.
This is the first time?
Yep. First time realtors marketing the property.
But we did go out to bid, and we didn't get any bids.
Yeah, we went to bid, didn't get any offers. We went to for sale by owner, didn't get any offers. And like I said, I was actually out looking at the property a couple of weeks ago, and a resident approached me and said, I don't want to give you what you're asking, but I'll give you this. And that's what I said to the board, it's substantially less than market value. Did you want to negotiate that or get a realtor involved? And the board said, let's get a realtor on there. So, clerk, that would be the language added to the contract, is that there would be an exemption made for one resident who verbally spoke to the mayor, and I can't divulge the number out loud because that wouldn't be fair to all parties involved, but that would be the exemption to approving this sales contract, not a sales contract, but a real estate agreement to market the property.
That being the circumstance, Mayor, I would second.
Okay, we're going to go ahead with roll call number 3 for item M, with the exception for the one resident with the verbal offer to the mayor. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Abstain.
Abstain. You put an A there.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
The motion carries to approve item M.
Very good. So, next, you want to start this? Is there any unfinished business?
Is there any unfinished business?
Nobody? So, does anyone have any business?
Does anybody have any new business?
Motion to adjourn?
Can I go to motion to adjourn?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Just say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:29 p.m.
We're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:29 p.m.
Okay. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you have a wonderful night.
That was fun.